My name is Julia, and today I will be talking to you guys about how I came up with my idea for my CP for my intro admission portfolio for the NIU art education program. I really started to get serious about sculpture in high school. I started to take a 3D class starting my sophomore year of high school, and I had an instructor that really helped me flourish, and she really pushed me to be the best that I could be. And I made a fantastic portfolio of various animal wearables, and these are the things that are flashing on screen now. And through making all these animal wearables, I found out that I'm really passionate about the environment and preserving all of the critters that live within that environment, because I think that we forget about what is surrounding us and we get so sucked up in this idea of consuming things, like both buying things and just consuming media, that we don't think about the implications that has on the earth and on the environment and on the animals that live there. So in high school, my work dealt with the idea of becoming animals, and I really liked the process of making them, so I wanted to explore something in a similar vein. But I needed to do something else, right? You can't explore the same idea twice, so this time I wanted to sculpt endangered animals and do some kind of performance with them at the end. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with the performance, but I knew that I wanted to have some kind of performative aspect to it. So I hopped online and I started researching various endangered animals, and all the animals that were really speaking to me were waterborne animals. And a fun fact about me is I am passionate about water safety, and I have been involved in aquatics since I was 16 years old. And just being in the pool and swimming and just being in water has a really special place in my heart. And I really wanted to try and explore that with this series. So all the animals that I sculpted I chose to be some kind of water dwelling animal and that are endangered due to habitat loss. So what you're seeing now is my first piece of my series, and that is a hawksbill sea turtle. Hawksbill sea turtles are endangered, and I really wanted to make this very large sea turtle, and he is human size. If I were to lay down to him, he would be the same size I am. And I really enjoy having a natural feel to my artwork, and the way I do that is I use the industrial paper towel that we have at school or at work, and I get those rolls of paper towels and I use those to paper mache with. They do a great job of absorbing paint, and they make the thing that I'm paper macheing look very natural, and it absorbs paint really well. I wanted to play with a variety of textures in this piece, and I think I did that very well. I think I did a good job replicating the scales and getting the hardness and the various tones of the tortoise shell. And I think that overall it looks really well, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. The next animal that I did in this series was a toad. I wanted to do a toad because growing up, I would always catch toads and I would kiss them and I would play with them. So I was like, okay, it's time to honor the toads. I made him out of the same materials that I did as the turtle, which was, I don't know if I forgot to mention it. I use butcher paper and paper mache and acrylic paint. That is all what these guys are made with. And I put a nice shiny gloss medium on him to make him look like he's still wet. Toads are they're not endangered per se, but their populations are suffering due to water pollution, and toads are amphibians, so they absorb all the water through their skin. So if there's anything bad in the water, they're just getting immediately into their skin. So I just wanted to show that just because an animal is small doesn't mean that it's not important in its ecosystem. The last piece of my series was a salamander. I, once again, chose to do a salamander because they're kind of similar to toads. They are amphibians and they absorb water through their skin, and if there's any toxins in the water, they will die. So I thought that would be fun to do another pond-dwelling animal to kind of keep with the water theme. At this point in the game, this was the last piece of my series. I was getting tired, so I chose to do a simpler animal. I think out of all three of the pieces that I did in this series, this is the least interesting one. But I think that I caught the essence of the salamander well, and he's just hanging out, you know? They're all hanging out and they're all having a good time. So while I was making the animals, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, like, I want to do something with them. I don't want to have them sit in my basement. So as I was working on them and making them, I was working at the YMCA, and I had just gotten a promotion to be a building supervisor. So at that point, I was a key carrier to the building, and then I'm like, okay, all right, Easter Sunday's coming up. No one's going to be in the building. I should throw all these animals in the pool. And I pitched my ideas to people, and people were like, no, don't do it. You're going to waste it. Waste your talent, waste your artwork. And then I was like, okay. The more people told me no, the more I wanted to do it. So I'm like, okay, I will pretend to be corporate America. You know, I'll be dressed in a little suit, you know, have a little clipboard, and I'm just going to jump into the pool with these animals, and I'm just going to have the time of my life. So what you guys are going to see next is the video that I filmed in the pool. So I had to come into the building on Easter morning. I came really early, so I wouldn't even run into any guy cleaning or whatever, you know. I was there at 4 a.m. I came in, I set up my tripod, and I really only had one shot to get it right. So whatever happened. I think it came out successfully, but it wasn't exactly what I envisioned. But here it is, and enjoy. So there's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Making this series was so much fun, and I really challenged myself with managing my time and making sure that these animals looked as good as I wanted them to. I definitely would like to explore more performance art down the road, but I think this was a great way to get started. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.